My namaskarams to all the devotees of Abhinava Satsagh. I thank Dr. A.G.R. for asking me to make an introduction of today's lecturer, speaker, who is a picture of learning at the same time of humility. Of course, this word introduction, which I say, is rather atrocious because there's no need for introducing him. He is known to everybody, but there is a formality that you are supposed to introduce a speaker, and that honor has come to me thanks to Dr. A.G.R. Today, we are fortunate to listen to this scholar on Siva Siddhanta, who has been giving discourses for years and years on the Nalvar, and I have learned a lot from him, especially from Tirumandiram of Tirumula. I don't know how to describe him. He is a person of varied interests and achievements, multifaceted personality, extremely busy person who finds time to indulge and go deep into this spiritual area and spread the knowledge for people who are seekers. He is a commerce graduate, qualified as a company secretary, a management expert, a computer specialist, a seasoned trainer, on the other side, a sportsman, a person who is a trekker, and a man who does for the long distance running. Now, these two are necessary. Sariramadhyam kalu dharma sadhanam. A person should have good physique, good health, so that he will be able to concentrate on higher values of life. We find all these things are in him, and have gained immensely from his discussions on the 10th canonical test, Tirumula's Tirumandir. We therefore look forward to a treat of useful contribution of Sundara to Shaiva Siddhanta. Sundara, as you all know, was an ardent devotee of Lord Shiva, and therefore he was on friendly terms. He was referred to as Tambiran Thoran. What you find in the Bhagavad Gita, the relation between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. Now, two things struck me when I read the background of this great person, saint and philosopher, that he lost his eyesight and regained it. I recall a parallel where Nilakanta Dikshita also lost his eyesight and then regained it by yogic powers when he retired to meditative contemplation in Palamadai in Tirunelveli. The very first Padikam is actually induced by Shiva's influence. Pitta Pirai Chudi Perumane Arulala. This is what it refers. Now, the very first word, Pitta, normally it means a madman. By appearance, Lord Shiva appears to be mad because he wears serpents, he lives in the cremation ground, and he has got jada, and the way in which he appears looks like a madman. But this is what great people are, because they know that the ordinary man is mad. They know ordinary man is bad, but the ordinary man thinks they are mad. Jnanis know others are mad because they are mad after worldly things. But people think jnanis are mad. That's why the word Pitta, and that itself was given by Lord Shiva as a starter for him to produce this book. It is said that he has composed. We don't know how much he has composed, but what is available is only a fraction of the composition of Padikams. Padikam itself means there are 10 stanzas in one. About 100 are available now, popularly known, and about 10 times that we have got the stanzas. But it appears that he has composed in 3,800 Padikams. That means 10 times that, 38,000 stanzas should be available. But unfortunately, in our tradition, whether it is Sanskrit or Tamil tradition, the great authors never made any contribution saying that they made it. And documentation is so bad in our system. I don't know whether it's bad, call it bad, because they never thought it is theirs. Whatever came out of these saintly people, when they were in deep meditative contemplation, they thought was a blessing of the Lord. That's why you find the Brahma Sutra, Shastra Unitvat. All Shastras emanate from the Lord only. In Vishnu Sahasranama also you have got Yogo Jnanam Tada Sankhya Vidya Shilpadi Karmaja. Veda Shastrani Vijnana Yeda Sarvam Janardana. Everything comes from Janardana only. So nobody can say, I am the starter of this. Maybe that is the reason why our great people never bothered to have their own signature in the compensation. So like that we have lost many. On one aspect it is great, one aspect it is a great loss at the same time. Now today we have got a person who has delved deep into Shaiva Siddhanta, apart from being a yoga teacher and a person of repute in the sports area also. Very difficult to find a person having both. Now it's a very rare exception, and that is our good fortune to listen to him. Now, before I close, I want to again quote only one line, that is a prose commentary called Vartika by Sureshwaracharya on the Mandukya Upanishad, where he mentions this, the word pitta I mentioned. That is, he says, those who are knowledgeable know others are pittas, and those who are not think these jnanis are pittas. This is the statement that he makes, that whatever is said by people who are knowledgeable, then that is what one should collect and take as the thing. Buddha tattvasya logoyam jada unmatta pishachavat. Buddha tattva vilogasya jada unmatta pishachavat. Buddha tattva means really soul. For him, the world is mad, and for ordinary people, they think this Buddha tattva or the realist man is mad. A mundane example, then I will close my introduction. Suppose a person goes to a lunatic asylum. He thinks that the people inside are mad, but they think that the person who has come is mad. Experience. The people who are inside the asylum will say, a madman has come. But these people know the person inside the asylum is mad. It's exactly the state in the world. Jnanis know others are mad. Others think jnanis are mad. This is the meaning of the word pitta, how it starts. Not abuse or not degradation. Now, I don't know whether I should go beyond this, because I have great pleasure in introducing a scholar, not only a scholar, a person who is a picture of humility, and a student always, though he knows a lot, he does not parade his knowledge. He is there to help people to know the intricacies of Shaiva Siddhanta and a master of the subject. So today we are in for a very great fair, and I am happy that I am also part of this satsang to learn whatever this great person. And who is this person? So far I have not mentioned his name. He is Thiru Selvanayagam sir.
Thank you, sir.
With this, I leave the floor open to Selvanayagam ji. With great respect.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Har Har Mahadev, sir. Thank you, sir.
Har Har Mahadev. Thank you.
Har Har Mahadev.
Over to our Virat Kohli, Selvanayagam sir to play, sir. Thank you, sir. Har Har Mahadev.
Thank you,
Har Har Mahadev.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, CLR, sir. If I have to accept your words at face value, then I will be committing possibly the Himalayan egoistic blunder. But then I take it as a words from two people who have great affection and love towards me. So those things are uttered more out of love and affection rather than on merits and facts. Thank you. And I'm starting today's session with possibly two ironies. One is, the first irony is, I am speaking for an audience who are mostly or almost mostly, more educated, more experienced, more well-versed in the topics than what I'm going to speak. But then that is the irony of the life. People who should speak are listeners, and people who should sit quiet and listen and keep your mouth shut, they are allowed to speak. That's today's irony. One, the irony of the second irony is the story today. What we are going to look. If you look at the invite that has been sent, it says, the topic says, Shiva's love for a devotee. Actually, how it should have been, a devotee's love, a devotee's penance, a devotee's affection for Lord. See, that is a test of a devotee, how closely, how intensely, how 100% unselfishly he regards and loves the Lord. Instead, this is the irony, is here we are going to look at what great love the Lord had for a person. That's the irony of this life, irony of Sundarar's story. It possibly will raise more questions in you than the answers I am going to provide. But then, as Valluvar says, a good text, what is a litmus test? It says it should make the reader think. You should not give the answer. You should make the reader think. If you just extend it to possibly a good lecture, I would be satisfied and content if today's discussions raise more doubts in you rather than more clarifications. In fact, that is my intention as well. Okay. Sundaramurti Nayanar was an 8th century poet who, along with Thirunavukarasar and Thiruñana Sambandar, composed collectively what is called Devaram, which has seven books, let us say. 7 Tirumurai, 7 books. The 7th is our Sundarar's verse. Okay. Who is this Sundarar and how did he come to this place? All saints' history says, after a long and tough life in earth, the saints reach the abode of Lord Shiva. Here, this story is full of opposites. I am assuring you, full of opposites. There is nothing you can compare or equivalent to another because this is a unique one. What is the uniqueness in this? Here, Sundarar, instead of living a long life in the earth and goes to abode of the God, he comes from Kailash to this place and lives a short life and goes back. So, when for all others it is a journey to high above, for our man it is a journey from top to our place. Okay, we'll look at that. Here, in a region called Nadunadu, Sundarar was born to parents called Sadayanar and Isaiñaniyar. Sadayanar is his father, Isaiñaniyar is his mother. 2 great Saivites living in a time where Saivism was prospering and living in a place where Lord Shiva and the prayers and living by his the paths is very prevalent. And his parents are very, very respected people in the Brahmins section, Saiva Sivacharyas, kind of. He was born. Why did he come to this place? Because in the previous Janma, in fact, he was living happily in Kailash. His name there is Alala Sundaran. His name is Sundaran. When Asuras and Devas wanted the nectar, instead of the nectar, first so many other bad things came, including the poison, which was named as Alala poison. Okay, the world was not able to bear the badness of the poison. Lord Shiva was willing to take it on behalf of the world, but somebody has to bring the poison and give it to Lord Shiva, is it not? Nobody could go near the poison. This Sundarar, one of the Shiva Ganas at Kailash, took the poison in his hand and brought it to Lord Siva, and then he consumed it and became Nilakandam is the story. So from that time onwards, the the Sundarar in the Kailash was called Halala Sundaran because he brought the Halalan poison to Lord Siva. I think he never did a good thing. See, when everybody brings good things to Lord, our man brought the poison to him to drink. Okay. What happened in one of those days? He was in the garden and he saw two ladies, the handmaids to Parvati, plucking flowers in the Kailash. He saw them, and for a moment only, please remember, for a moment, for a fraction of a second, he saw them. And those two girls also saw our Alala Sundaram. Moment only. Please remember that. Okay, that's all. In the place where common was burnt, banished, you can't have a desire, no. Lord Siva saw him, and then understood them what is a mistake he had done. Then immediately he called Alala Sundaran and told, for what you had done. See, he has not done anything. He only looked at it. He thought about it with a little bit, you can say, a bad intention. That in fact is not a bad intention, because the intention was created by Lord himself in the heart of Sundara. Okay, but Lord told, for I understood, you saw those two girls and wished them, you liked them, and you can't be in this place with that kind of thoughts. You please go to earth, okay, and satisfy your needs. He was, he was thunderstruck. He was, crestfallen. He told, no, how can I leave you, Lord? How can I go there? Why? Please don't punish me like this. In fact, so the Lord smiled and told, I am not punishing you. I give to every devotee what he wants. I understood your desire. I am only telling you, go to the earth, satisfy your desire, and come. Then Sundarar, he knows, what kind of one person comes to earth, what all happens. You have mannase, you have ponnase, you have purulase, you have ases to thousands to a core. So he says, if I get stuck in earth, what would happen? So I want a promise from you. You have to come wherever I am, in whatever conditions I am. You have to stop me and then take me and bless me. Siva agrees. Then Alala Sundaran is born here for Sadayanar and Isaignaniyar as a child. This is how he comes. He was, in the child, he was named as Nambi Arurar, his grandfather's name. Those times, grandfather's names are normally given for the grandchild. It also shows the grandfathers were remembered. Okay. Nambi Arurar. 16 years goes without much incident. There is only one incident that is happening. That is, he was adopted by the king in that place. Though Sundarar is the only child for his parents, the king looks at one day. The king looks at Sundarar as a child, and then he was very impressed by the grace and the divinity of the child. He talked to their parents, and the parents agreed. And then from that time onwards, though born in a Brahmin family, he grew in the palace. The king's name is Narasingha Munayarayar. Narasingha, let us take it for a simple thing. He is a very pious king. So you all would have heard about this 63 Nayanmars. In any temple you go, Shiva's temple, you could see 63 Nayanmars in a row. 63 Nayanmars. Sundara is one of them. Fine, everybody knows. Sundara's parents are also there. It's unique. No other Nayanmars parents are included in that. So Sundara's parents get that, distinguished to be in the list. Why? What did they do? They are parents to Sundara, that's all. Okay, that is fine. But most interesting thing is this Narasingha, the king, he is also one of the 63. Why? is because he adopted and grew the child, He also, of course, he's a great saint, and there are incidents about Narsinga Munayarayar, his own. What happens one day? He always feeds to the devotees. One day, a pretending devotee, a holy devotee comes. People identify him and then tell the king, he doesn't deserve your kindness of the gifts. Then Narsinga Munayaraya says, no, no, no. He deserves twice of what I give to others. So to everybody, he gives 100 gold coins. To the pretending devotee, Narsinga Munayaraya gave 200 the gold coins. See, that is the respect he had even for people who wore only the attire of the devotees, need not be in the heart. See, that is his problem, what he does. Our side is we respect even the attire, even the appearance of the persons. Okay, that's a separate story. So father, mother, adopted father, all three come in the 63 list. If some time permits, you will look at that. Okay, 16th year of the age of Sundara, people decide to get him married. Okay. And then from that time, he lives exactly 2 years, 16 to 18th year. Then 18th year, he goes back to Kailash. So this story, this long story of Sundarar happens in a period of exactly 2 years, because up to 16 years, nothing of a consequence. 16th marriage day starts. Then on 18th, when he completes 18th year, he reaches about. So 2 years, what all he does, I'm not going to talk about that. Please remember, what all Lord Siva does for him in those 2 years is what we are going to see. We are also going to only scratch the surface of what Lord is doing to this Sundaramurti Swamigal in those 2 years. You will be left to wonder, I assure you, in those 2 years, if Lord was always running behind Sundarar, if Lord was always waiting to do his bits, then who else this Lord has delegated his 5 functions, his Katal, his Arital, Arulal, or Marital, he has 5 functions, no? I don't think he would have definitely, for those 2 years, he would have bothered anything else other than running after our Sundaramurti Nayanar. That is the intensity of the love the Lord had for one of the devotees. Okay, I'm not saying if Sundaramurti could have, you and I could have. Yes, theoretically, you and I could have that also. That kind of affection we can enjoy from Lord. But then we have to have Sundaramurti as our model. Okay, 16th year, marriage is fixed. Okay, the place is called Puttur, Manamanda Puttur. Yes. Marriage is about to get solemnized. Okay. In the history of the Sundaramurti Swamigal, the girl he was destined to marry at that time was not there officially in the recordings. There are some stories regarding what is her name, where could she have come from, and those things. But authoritative scholars who have written the history have chosen not to speculate on the name, because that marriage is not going to happen. If somebody is not fortunate and blessed enough to take the hand of Sundaramurti Swamigal, possibly the authors thought that it is not worth recording in his history as well. So the name is not there. It's okay. Young girl is to marry. When the rituals start, a old Brahmin appears from nowhere and he cries, Sundara, stop. Everybody looks at him. Okay, in a marriage, how could somebody call the bride and the groom's name and then shout at the highest pitch to stop? They stop and then ask, what is the issue with you? Then he says, the boy here who is about to marry, as his grandfathers, his ancestors have given a promise to me that that family would always serve me only. So he has to serve me. He cannot take a married life and then serve his wife and children. He has to be essentially a servant to me. He has no freedom to marry a girl. They are shocked and surprised because they did not think something like this could happen. Kindly mute at your end. Thank you. Sundar stands up, then goes to the old man and then says, I am not indebted to you in any way. My ancestors have given no such promise. But the Brahmin, the old man says, yes, he has. He has a right over Sundara. The elders, catch up with the development and then tell the old man, see, look, for any claim to get substantiated, there are three things are necessary. One of the three things are necessary. If you claim ownership on a point, on a thing, or on a doctrine, you should have possession of that. Suppose there's a land you claim your ownership, you should possess it in your control. Then it is one proof. You are not possessing Sundara so far. All these years, 16 years, they've been living happily. So you are not possessing. So you don't. Your claim does not pass in that. Second is evidence. If you have an evidence of somebody vouchsafing what you are saying is right, we will accept. But there you don't have any evidence. Nobody is corroborating your claim. So you fail there also. There's only a third thing is available for a proof. That is documents. Dastavej. If you have a document proving your claim, please show it to us. The old Brahmin immediately whips a what do you call palm leaf at that time, and then show wherein it is written that the ancestors of Tirunavalur families pledge that we will always be obedient servants to Pitta who lives in Tiruvannai-Nallur. The name is given as Pittan, as you already explained its meaning. Everybody was shocked. Okay, Sundara in I don't know what you should only attribute what should be his state of mind. Okay, he tears that palm leaves and throws away, and then says, "Where is now your evidence?" Like possibly like children, no, the only incriminating evidence you have, they tear off. So similarly, he tears off and then says, "Where is the evidence?" Then the old man smiles and then says, "This is not a real evidence. I have the original still with me. Okay, I will prove that." Say, but then they say, "We have never seen you." The crowd says, "We have never seen you in this place. You are coming all of a sudden. Where were you living?" Tiruvannai-Nallur, which is quite nearby to the Puttur place. Okay, then you come to my place. I will prove all the things. The Lord goes to Tiruvannai-Nallur. Sundaramurti and others follow him. When they reach Tiruvannai-Nallur, he calls those people and then say, "Here is a signature of the ancestors of Pitta. Please verify and tell me whether this document is original." The signature is verified, document is proved to be correct. Then, in a triumphant look, the old man says, "From hereafter, Sundaran is my servant. He is my slave." Okay. And people out of curiosity ask, "Big thing, good, okay, but where is your house? Show us where you are living." Siva enters the temple of Tiruvannai-Nallur and disappears. Then Sundara realizes that he is not a ordinary old man. His Lord himself has come and has stopped him from the marriage to show the right path of life in his place. At that time, what do you call, a divine sound comes from the sky, saying that he is none other than Lord Siva. Immediately, Sundara falls on the ground and prays. At that time, Lord Siva says, he is asking, "What should I do now?" He says, "Of all the archanas which I enjoy the archanas of poems maximum. So I ordain you to do archanas with your beautiful poems sung in language of Tamil." Sundara says, "What do I know? I don't know anything about neither about the Tamil or about you or about the poems. How will I compose?" Then the voice says, you call me Pitta. So you start your composition with the word Pitta. Then that's how the first poem starts. Pitta Peresudi Perumane Arulala Yettan Maravade Nanakinde Manatunne. Yettan Maravade Nanakinde. That is, I'm not only thinking of you, I am thinking of you without any break, without even momentarily forgetting you in my heart. So the Devaram starts. Okay, from that moment, we are going to see the history of Sundaramurti Swamigal for 2 years, just 2 years only. At that time, the great saints and poets, what they were doing, were going from temple to temple, singing songs from relevant to those places, so that it will inspire the people living around those temples in those places to visit temples and then get the divinity experience. Like that, our Sundarar also started from there, from Thiruvannamalur, started going to temples to pray to Lord Shiva, because that's what Lord Shiva instructed him. You go to temples and sing in my praise. That's what I enjoy most. That's what he told. Okay, this is also a good point for us, because you do archana with so many other things. They are good. You could do archana even with the stones, like Eribattar showed. You can do archana with your food. You can do archana with the flowers. You can do archana with a lot of things. But in the Lord's own words are, of all the archanas, I love the archanas of poems. Okay. So from Thiruvannamalur, after visiting various temples, he goes to Tiruvadigai. Kindly remember this point. Tiruvadigai is a place where Saint Tirunavukarasar was doing cleaning and all other things. He was doing a lot of time duties in that temple. Okay, with his bare hand, he every place he goes, he cleans and maintains a temple. The great saint Tirunavukarasar. Now we go to temples, we don't even bend ourselves. Okay, he was literally doing cleaning, gardening and watering, everything else, painting, all those things he was doing. So when Sundarar reached Tiruvadigai town, he was reluctant and he was fearful even to put his foot in the vicinity of that town, because that is a place where the Tirunavukarasar walked. That is a temple where Tirunavukarasar with his bare hands was doing duty to God and to the devotees of Lord. Am I fit enough to walk on such places? Sundara decided that he is no fit. He has not got earned such worthiness to walk on such places. So he stops at the border of Tiruvadigai, and then there's a mutt. It's called Sittavadam, that mutt name. There's a outskirts of Tiruvadigai. He sleeps. He chooses to stay put and never to venture his foot on Tiruvadigai village, and then he stays and sleeps there. Mid of the night, he suddenly he feels somebody is putting his leg on his head. He wakes up, and an old man is sleeping on the opposite side, and then he is kind of absent-mindedly putting his head right over his head. He woke up, stood, and then chose another corner of the mat, went and then lied down and slept again. Couple of minutes, again he feels somebody is kicking him. He wakes up. The same old man is again putting his head on his head, his legs on his head. Our man woke him up and told, "Oh, old man, what is this? Everywhere I am going, you are coming after me and putting your leg on my head. Why are you doing this?" The old man woke up, stood, smiled at him, and then asked, "Sundara, don't you realize who I am?" and disappears. Who has come there? The Lord, the Lord himself. No, the Lord himself. Nataraja, Tiruvadigai Sivaperuman has come because he has chosen, Sundarar has chosen not to visit Tiruvadigai Sivaperuman. Sundarar has chosen not to sing, not to visit, see and get the darshan. Okay, he has his own reason, because the great Tirunavukarasar has walked in those places. I am not fit enough. to walk again. It will be amount to equal. But Lord looks at different way. If Sundara, if you do not come into my place and see me, no problem. I have no hesitation. I have no ego. Okay, I will come to your place where you are sleeping. And when the crows and crows of these living beings want to reach my abode, his abode is nothing but his feet. Okay, if you see in the Tirukural, in the first chapter which praises the Lord, seven corals praises his feet only, because his feet are the ship by which we cross this this ocean of samsara. So when we are all struggling to understand how to reach the feet is coming here and putting his putting it imposing itself on Sundarar. And our man Sundarar, as is going to happen throughout his life, he is not realizing that God is after him. And then he says, who are you? See, that is how. Okay. Now, then Sundarar wakes up and then realizes what mistake he has done. Ayo. Then he cries and then sings from there only he sings in the praise of Tiruvadigai Lord. Then he goes to the next place was Chidambaram. In Chidambaram, he sings in the praise of Nadaraja. Okay. From there, he goes to, in Chidambaram, the Lord says, please come to Thiruvarur. Okay. Because Thiruvarur is going to be his residence for the 2 years. So Lord is bringing him to his residence. Okay. Sometimes you see in this story, sometimes Siva is running in front of Sundara to make things okay. In other places, Siva is coming in behind Sundara to protect him and all those things. You'll see both. Or sometimes he walks along with him. Okay, possibly hand in hand. So that is how Siva. I don't know whether why he is so much obsessed with one devotee. Okay, you will have to tell me. I'm going to ask a lot of questions. Okay. Yeah. He reaches, Lord says at Chidambaram, Sundara, please come to Thiruvarur. Okay. People who know the areas of Tamil Nadu, they can easily follow the path Sundara is being guided to travel. En route, he comes to a town called Sirgari. Unfortunately, Sirgari is a place where Thiruñana Sambandar was born. Okay, he knows. So when the Thiruñana Sambandar is born in the place, it's a very sacred place. So our man again fears that this is the place where Jnana Sambandar was born. Okay, how could I walk in that streets? Okay, he does not enter the Sirgari. In fact, he never entered Sirgari at all. In those 2 years when he visited hundreds of temples, he never went inside the Srigari town, leave alone the temple there. Okay, he stands outside of Srigari, he looks at the Gopuram and then sings in praise of that Lord, and then moves. He reaches Thiruvarur. Now listen, he is about to reach Thiruvarur. Okay, you know what is happening? Lord Siva. See, when great persons come, what people do in that? Suppose a prime minister comes to our town, or a foreign president comes. The city is decorated. All the big wigs here, they dress themselves well and make the streets with all lights and all those things. Let's say when a temple chariot comes in your street, no, like that. Lord Siva wants his friend. Okay, I should not say friend because now it's going to happen. Okay, he's Sundarar. When he comes, he wants to make a grand entry there. He does not want his Sundarar to come like an innocent, one among the 1,000 commonest who will enter into Thiruvarur every day. No, my man is different. My man has to be respected. My man has to have a grand entry into the Thiruvarur place because Thiruvarur is going to be his residence. You know what he does? See how much trouble our Lord takes. He appears in each and every one of the residents of Thiruvarur and then says, tomorrow Sundarar is coming. So, Sundarar, he is very close to me. Okay, now I want you to get up now itself, decorate your town, wear new dresses, we take all your music instruments and go and bring him right royally, like as if you will do to me. Okay, Sundara does not know these things. Okay, Sundara wakes up and then walks into Thiruvarur. The whole Thiruvarur is waiting at the outskirts to receive him. In the possibly in the grandest manner the town had ever witnessed. Okay, he was brought in. Then he goes to the temple, Dagarajar temple, and then he prays there. Okay. At that time, there was a divine announcement from Lord from the top. Okay, this is going to happen as a regular feature in Sundaramurti Swamigal's story. Either he appears in all others' dreams, or he makes an announcement. Okay, publicly. Then says, Sundara, I offer my friendship to you. The exact word. Please contemplate on Lord's word. You know what the Lord says? I offer my friendship to you. What is that implication? Lord could have told Sundara, you are my friend. Okay, because that announcement he wants to make it to the rest of the Thiruvarur people and to the rest of the world. What word he chooses? If an ordinary person, he would have told Sundara, I am your friend. Or Sundara, you are my friend. Or from today, you are my friend. Okay. In every one of these English, alternative expressions, see, if you look at it, then it amounts to either I am forcing myself to be a friend, or I am big enough, I am condescending and coming down to a level where I accept your friendship. Okay. In any other expression, it would not be fitting to the love the Lord Siva had for Sundara to correctly express this situation. You know what Lord told? The Lord told is, Sundara, I offer my friendship that means what? You are great. Okay. It is now you have a choice to accept my friendship unconditionally or conditionally or reject. See, God is offering his friendship to Sundara. Okay. See, that is what the world, God wanted the world to know, that it is Sundarar, it is a God who offered his friendship to Sundara. So don't compare his life history to the rest of the cases and then get yourself questions which are not easily answerable. This is very unique fitting. This is a grand intro to that what all has to happen in that remaining 2 years. See, okay, now what did Sundaran do in this possibly 1 week? When he started the journey from Thiruvannamalur, he went to Tiruvadigai, Chidambaram, Sirgadi, skipped, and then went to Thiruvarur. What did he do for the Lord's lotus legs to come and crown his head? And what Lord has to say that I offer my friendship to you. Why should Lord woke up the whole town and say, please go and receive my man? What did he do? What did he do? He didn't do anything. He did one thing. He respected the Lord's devotees. Because Tirunavukar said, did work in a temple, I should not put my foot there. Another great devotee was born in Sirgadi. I can't walk and sully that town. See, that is the only thing he showed. First point is, you have to have such reverence to the devotees of Lord Siva who came before to you. If that itself is done, see, Siva, Sundaran has to do so many other things now. But so far, what he has demonstrated is possibly the greatest respect one could show to Lord's devotees earlier to himself. Lord was impressed that he has got the wisdom on his own, and that is why he chose to offer his friendship to Sundara. Okay. Days passed, he lived in Thiruvarur, and then as Lord had willed, he happened to see a lady there. Okay, Paravai Nachiyar is her name. She is one of the two ladies on which his sight happened to fall in the abode of God in the Kailash, for which he was sent down to the air. Okay. This Paravai Nachiyar was a devotee of Lord Shiva, a great artist, a dancer, a singer, and then Lord decides that he will marry Sundara to the Paravai Nachiyar. He appears in the dream of Sundara and says, "You will marry him. I will arrange the marriage with the Paravai Nachiyar." He appears in the dream of the Paravai Nachiyar and says, "You will marry Sundara." Then he appears in the dreams of the Thiruvarur people and say, "Those two are my devotees. Please, get them married." Okay. Next day itself, in a grand wedding, both of them get married and they start living happily in Thiruvarur. Paravai Nachiyar participates in the temple festivals. She cooks and then makes food for devotees who are visiting Thiruvarur, and it's going on like that. One of the duty they do is to feed to all the devotees who are coming to see Dhyavesa. One time there's a big famine and nothing was available. And the people who are normally donating food to the Paravai Nachiyar, the grains and rice and other things with which she will make food and give it to the devotees, they all because of the famine, they were left with no food. So Lord is waiting how to help Sundara like this. You see how he is going about. It's a very small incident. I will tell you. Kundayur Kedar is one such person, one of the richest landlord. He had nothing to give. He was the one who was giving maximum donation to this Paravai Nachiyar for her duties. Kundayur Kedar, Lord, you know what he does? He calls he instructs Kuberan, the Lord for Selva, and then says, "Kubera, what are you doing? You go and give material to this Kundayur Kedar so that he can give it to this Thiruvarur couple." Fine, no problem. Kuberan goes and gives hundreds and tons of rice and grain to this Kundayur Kedar. Kundayur Kedar immediately sends a message to Sundarar. "I have got now the materials. You can please come and take." Sundarar comes. He sees, entire Kundayur Kedar streets, they're full of grains and everything. How can he take it? He should call people and take it. No, you know what he does? See, he is not content with Lord Shiva instructing Kuberan to give the material. No, 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 no. What is the use of giving in another place? I want to be given at my place, at my wife's residence. It has to come. So he calls Shiva and says, "What is the use of giving you here? My place is another village, Thiruvarur. You have to give it to me there, not here." So then Lord Shiva, what a blunder I have done here. My man wants everything at his place. He won't take the cart and then load it and bring those things to him. So he asks all Sivaganas from Kailash to come to Kundayur and then take all the bags, literally carry to Thiruvarur and then leave it in Thiruvarur so that people in Thiruvarur can use it for the devotees. So next day, when the Thiruvarur people woke up, in front of everyone's house, there are Himalayan amount of these grains are stored. Then seeing, then everybody asks, what did happen? No, no, no. Our man Sundara, no, he wanted all these grains to come from Kundayur to our place. Lord Shiva asked all Sivaganas to do the work. Sivaganas did the work. You see, see how the chain of command starts with Sundara's wishes. Okay. Then similarly, Sundarar goes to temple and then prays, wants like for food items, gold, wealth, etc., to be given to him by Lord, so that he can go to Thiruvarur and do the donations and other things to the devotees visiting there. He never works. Okay, he never earns. He only commands the Lord to give things to him. Okay, there are many instances where he sleeps in the temple with the red bricks in his head, and then when next day when he wakes up, he finds they are golden bricks. Then he sends it to his wife's place, so that he will continue the duties. Like that, there are many miracles happen. A Lord make it happen in his life. This is a very long list. Okay. I will just share with you just two incidents of Lord's love for our Sundarar. There is there are other devotees, also living in those time of Sundarar, who come in this list of 63. Okay. One such person is Kalikamar. Kalikamar, Ayayarkon Kalikamar, a great devotee of Lord Siva. To explain this Kalikamar story, I will tell in 2 lines what has happened in Sundarar's life. He lives in Thiruvarur with one wife. Now, while visiting all other temples, he comes to Thiruvattriyur near Chennai. He looks at a girl there, and then, with the Lord's help, he marries that lady also as his second wife. He does a lot of drama there. He has to lie. He has to promise and then break a promise. What? Not only our man, Lord also has to do so many other things, bend backwards, cut corners to get this second marriage fructified. Okay, many would say the Lord's role in that is not fair. Okay, but then who are we to judge what the Lord wants to do to Sundaramurti Swamigal? Okay. Then, remember, after the second marriage, he comes back to Thiruvarur, but the first wife is terribly upset and angry. He does not allow Sundaramurti Swamigal to come into her house. What Sundara does is, immediately he calls his friend, Lord Siva, and then says, "Look, I am left. Both the marriages are, you only helped it to happen. Okay, but our man only did the mistake of all false promises. Okay, with both the ladies. But now he says, you will have to do something. She is very angry. How can I live without her? You have to pacify her." Lord goes as a messenger. See, imagine, can a Lord who prescribes through his Veda to banish desire, here he goes as a messenger to satisfy the desire of his devotee. Very unexplainable. Okay, I don't know if you look at it, superficially. I want you to think deeply. Why would the Lord agree for such a request? Okay, Lord should have turned back and then say, Sundara, controlling the desire and then directing it in the right direction is what is all about moksha and realizations. You are in lust with a girl, some problem with that. Why don't you take it as an opportunity to move away? Instead, Lord walks on the streets of Thiruvarur, not once or twice, 3 times, not in the daytime, in the middle of the night, accepting humiliations from her, and then he wants somehow to make his devotee join with his estranged first wife. Okay, that's a big story. I'm skipping those 2 marriages and the reunions and the fight between the ladies. Now let us come to Kalikamar Nayanar. Kalikamar Nayanar hears this incident because he is also living quite nearby. How could one person calling himself devotee of Lord Siva desires and orders and requests him to walk on the street and then go to a lady's house and then pacify that lady and then please accept the fellow who has broken the promises? Okay. Second, even if he is doing like that, how could Lord agree to that? What is it he is proving? He is trying to convey the Lord by his actions. He's totally disgusted. who the Kalikama Nayanar, who is one of the 63 Nayanars, and 63 Nayanars are there to convey 63 principles of bhakti to us. Okay, he's a very hot, high class devotee, no doubt about that. This Kalikama. So he says, I'm very sorry, I'm very unfortunate that I also happen to live in a time where such a things are happening. Where is our spiritual things are moving? Like we are now, shrugging our shoulders in discuss and then commenting. He also started commenting, but unlike us, he wanted to take an action. Okay. He says, I would rather die instead of seeing similar developments in future. Okay, he knew some more things are likely to happen like that. Okay. Now, listen, one devotee is very much cut up and against what another devotee is doing. What should the Lord do? The alleged misdeeds are happening because of Sundaramurti Swamigal. He should tell Sundaramurti Swamigal to go to Ayarkon Kalikamar's place and then explain the things. Okay, this is because of friendship and because Lord wanted all those things and some crap, some justifications, and then try to convince Kalikama Nayanar. Or if it is not possible, the Lord himself should go to Kalikama Nayanar and please look, please forgive me and also forgive my devotee Sundaramurti Nayanar. These things happen once in a way. This happened. Okay, you are my devotee and he is my devotee. I don't want devotees to fight among themselves. Lord does not do any of these things. You know what he does? He gives unbearable stomach pain to Kalikama Nayanar and then appears in his dream and then says, if you are suffering by this pain and every day you are now crying and then telling me, please cure, I will tell you a cure. If Sundaramurti Swamigal comes to your place and then touches you, your stomach pain will go away. See, look, who is to be taught a lesson? And what Lord is choosing to do, you see. How do you reconcile Lord's strategy on this? Soon, Kalikama Nayanar wakes up and then says, I'm living itself. When Sundaramurti Nayanar is living, I am thinking it's a curse. I am contemporary. It's a curse for me. And now you say that man will come to my house and that man will touch me, and only at such time my stomach pain would go. My God, this is the end. So he immediately, what he does? He wants to end his life. Okay, cut here. Come to Thiru. Okay, he says to Sundaramurti Nayanar, see, look, Kalikama Nayanar is very angry against you because of this ambassador business between these ladies. I have now given him stomach pain. I also told him only if you go to his place and touch him, only the stomach pain will go. So he would be possibly eagerly waiting because his unbearable pain I have given to him. He would now receive you because his stomach pain has to go. No, so you please go to his house. His stomach pain will go, and he will be your friend. He won't bear ill will and anger against you. So Sundaramurti Swamigal goes. Before that, the Lord sends people, the friends of Sundaramurti Swamigal, to Kalikama Nayanar and says, our Sundaramurti Swamigal is coming as per the order of Lord tomorrow. Like that, then he is announcing. Now, that is what precipitated Kalikama Nayanar. He takes a big sword and then says, before he touches my body, he should, I should die. He kills himself by by cutting his stomach. He dies. Okay. At that time, his wife is seeing Kalikama Nayanar's death. She says, how can I live without my husband? She was also about to kill herself when the news comes that Sundaramurti Swamigal has reached the house, her house. So how can she leave her duties as a housewife? Immediately, the death of Kalikama Nayanar is concealed. His body was put under a cot as if nothing has happened. Sundaramurti Swamigal is received with great honor as per protocol, and then he was given to a bath and wash his hands, and then he was offered a seat, and then he was given food to eat. All this time, the body of the Kalikama Nayanar is in his house, is concealed. His wife is smiling and controlling the tears. Our man does not know anything about these things. This is what happens in Sundaramurti Swami's life. He is oblivious of all the drama that is happening on his account. Okay, because that is the responsibility of Lord Shiva. Our man is simply go and act. That's all. Sundaramurti Swami says, where is Kalikamar? I understand he's having, I said, no, he doesn't know, no. He understand he's having stomach pain. I want to go and touch him and hug him, like that. Okay, then his wife says, he's all right, but he's sleeping. You please have your food. No, 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 I will see him. So he goes inside, and then he sees Kalikamar Nayanar in a pool of blood. He was shocked. He realizes, why he has committed the suicide, killed himself. And then he says, if I am the responsible for this because of my actions and elsewhere in another town, I have done a great wrong. I will have to live with Kalikamar wherever he is. I will also kill myself and go to that place. And then he touches Kalikamar's sword. At that moment, Lord gives life to Kalikamar, and then they two become great friends. So what the story says is, okay, now you could contemplate, okay, who is near in this, and what is the strategy Lord has done to pacify these two. It is only Kalikamar who had the ill will and grudge against Sundara. So Lord possibly taught a small lesson also to Kalikamar that another devotee's actions. You please don't make a judgment in that. Okay, that's one way of looking at it. I'm giving a small explanation for your satisfaction. I'll just end this session with just one more incident of another devotee. What's happening to Lord to Sundara? There was a king in Kerala called Saraman Perumal Nayanar. He is also one of the 63 in Nayanmars. Whenever he prays, okay, listen, whenever he prays, he is a great devotee of Siva at Chidambaram. So the cosmic dance, the sound of the bangles in his legs, okay, the kadal, the sound, whenever Saraman Perumal Nayanar finishes his puja, Lord will make that sound here to the ears of Saraman Perumal Nayanar. So he knows that God has accepted his puja, and he would happy and end the puja. Now, Lord wanted to make Saraman Perumal Nayanar and Sundaramurti Swamiyal as friends. See how he does. His own way. It's unfathomable, apparently, but great reasons behind for you to find out. He does not. He can know what is his usual strategy with regard to Sundaramurti Nayanar is he will appear in everybody's dream and then tell you marry him, don't marry him, receive him, don't receive him, give him money, give him, all those things happen. Okay. Now that's what he could have done here. Here, what he does when with great devotion. Sundaramurti and Saraman Perumal Nayanar is doing the puja, and then one day, without any blemish, he completes the puja. Lord chooses not to ring his cosmic dance sound to his ears. Saraman Perumal Nayanar is devastated. He says, what mistake I have done? I have done something wrong. I have my love and affection. There is something impurity has set into my pujas. If I commit a mistake like that, am I fit enough to be his devotee? What did I do? Lord, please forgive me. I don't know what mistakes I have done. He has done no mistake. He has done the puja exactly like all these years he has been doing. Now, Sundaramurti, Lord appears, as a divine announcement to him and says, look, there is a devotee in Tamil Nadu, Thiru. He has come to Chidambaram. He is singing in praise of me. So I got lost in his songs. So I forgot the time. So by the time I realized that the time is over and Sundaramurti's songs have ended and you would be doing your puja, I realized you ended the puja. So at the time of finishing of the puja, I couldn't make the sound here to you. See, Lord exactly knows his timing, his puja timing. So he conveys to Saraman Perumal, and indirectly that if Lord himself can forget himself in the songs, in the beauty of Sundaramurti Swamigal's poem, then as another devotee, Saraman Perumal Nayanar also should hear those poems and should pray and respect such a devotee, the great devotee like Sundaramurti Swamigal. So he rushes to the king rushes to Chidambaram. You know what happens there? Before he reaches Chidambaram, Sundaramurti Swamigal goes to Thiruvarur. Okay, then our man, see, he either Lord himself runs behind Sundaramurti Swamigal or he makes all other great devotees run after him. Now, our Saraman Perumal, he is a king, possibly one of the big kings in those periods. He goes to Thiruvarur and then meet Sundaramurti Nayanar and become great friends. Okay. Now let us cut short the story and then come to the end with these two Nayanas. Sundaramurti Swamigal, he travels with Saraman Perumal Nayanar to so many places. They become very thick friends. They live together for a long time. Okay, within these 2 years, I'm telling. Okay, I have left almost 90% of the incidents that are happening in Sundaramurti Swamigal. Just I'm giving some stray incidents to tell how the Lord is intervening that story with other devotees and other things. From they were living in the palace of Saraman Perumal Nayanar. One day, just like that, Sundaramurti Swamigal becomes, this kind of frustrated and disappointed that he's not with the Lord Siva in Kailash. Okay, the moment he thinks like that, you know what Lord does? The Lord sends Vajra, that white elephant, Indranuடைய vehicle, to bring, and then not only that, he sends all the Sivaganas along with the white elephant, and then says, please bring Sundara back to my place. Now it's almost end of the 2 years life of Sundaramurti Swamigal in the earth. Sundaramurti Swamigal thinks about his close friend Saraman Perumal Nayanar, then climbs the elephant, sits, and the elephant goes to Kailash. Okay. The moment Sundaramurti Swamigal remembers his friend Saraman Perumal, who is in the same palace, just in another place doing duty to the temple, he realizes that Lord has sent him an elephant only for his friend, not for him, and he has gone in that. Okay, you know what he does? He tells the name of Sundaramurti Swamigal, he meditates on his name, and then he gets a horse. He gets into the horse, and the horse moves faster than the elephant, circumambulates the elephant, and then he prays from his horse to his friend Sundaramurti Swamigal, and then goes to Kailash, and then he's waiting ahead of Sundaramurti Swamigal. The elephant reaches, he gets down, he takes he takes Saraman Perumal Nayanar, is about to enter. Then the gatekeepers at Kailash says, no, the entry is now is only for Sundaramurti Swamigal. Saraman Perumal stands outside. Sundaramurti Swamigal goes inside to Lord Siva, and he thanks him for for ending his life in earth and being with him, and then says, so my friend Saraman Perumal Nayanar has come. Please allow him in. Lord smiles and then says, okay, let us see, bring him in. Sundaramurti Swamigal was request was granted. Saraman Perumal Nayanar comes in, and then Lord asks one question to Saraman Perumal Nayanar. Look, your time hasn't come. I haven't asked you to come. I haven't willed. So how could you come? See, this is a place where my wishes prevail. Okay, your date has not come. I have not told Yama Dharmaraja. I have not told any of my Sivaganas to bring you here. How could you come like that? Then Sundaramurti Swamigal says, Saraman Perumal Nayanar says, I don't know about those things. My friend has come here. I thought of him. I wanted to be with him. he has brought me here. I do not know how I came. See, that is another lesson. The great Sundaramurti Swamigal, just one wish, he could make things alter even in Kailash, the procedures. Okay, so that shows the the what if you take somebody like him as your guru. Okay, what all the guru can do for another for his devotees is one thing is what he has done for Saraman Perumal Nayanar. So both uh, reach the abode, and then they continue to be one of the Sivaganas doing duty in Kailash. The Chairman Perumal Nayana, one of the 63, and Sundaramurti Swamigal, who made the list of these 63 names. Okay. Now, to conclude, as I told you, I am just given a glimpse of that also in a very few small incidents. There are so many other greater implied implications, with the greater implications. Lot more incidents are happening with the intention of Lord Shiva. Okay, we should read and contemplate those incidents and understand what what Lord could do. If this much can be done by Lord to a devotee, then what else he cannot do for you or me? But in all these things, okay, he has made himself deserving for the Lord to show that type of affection, almost like assistant, almost like a friend, almost like a guardian, guide. He shows path to which temples he has to go. Okay, he gives money and material whenever he wants. If somebody is angry with him, on his behalf, he pacifies those persons, male or female, both male and female. He pacifies. Still, so many other things he does. What all smallest fancies he indulges, Lord is ready to oblige. Okay, when a place in Viruthachalam, he is given gold. He says, if you give gold in a place where I am unknown, people say, what is a big thing? This gold has to be given to me in a grand manner in a place where I live in Thiruvarur. So you know what Lord says? Okay, you come to Thiruvarur. I will give all those things in a befitting way where the whole Thiruvarur people will come and clap. Okay, what all you achieved? So he says, you go to Thiruvarur temple and dip yourself into the water and come up, the gold will come to you. See, this is all very fancy ideas of Sundaramurti Swamigal. God simply says, yes, I will do for you. Every other thing God did all those things because Sundaramurti Swamigal made himself deserving by his life, by his principles. Okay, what is that? What could we learn from that? Respect to Guru, respect to other devotees. That's what he devoted. Okay, then helping others where no help is sought. Okay, he brings a dead child to a parents after 3 years after an incident. The parents don't ask Sundaramurti Swamigal, you are great, you are a friend of Lord Shiva, please bring life back. In Avinashi, it is happening. They ask no such thing. Sundaramurti Swamigal feels the frustration and the disappointment of the parents for having lost a child at that age in their temple. So he prays to Lord Shiva and then brings life to a child. Okay, that is what, as Vallalar says, he feels the pain of others and redresses it through his means. That is what Sundaramurti Swamigal's life is. If one is like that, we don't need a friend. We don't need a guide. Okay, we don't need a philosopher. Lord himself will take all those roles and be with us, is what is the life lesson of Sundaramurti Swamigal. For in a short period of about an hour, I can only give an intro and possibly an intriguing questions to you. Okay, so that you all will contemplate on Sundaramurti Swamigal's life and then learn and then use it as as an opportunity for us to improve ourselves in our journey. I once again thank all the participants, all the members. As I told you, the life story of Sundaramurthy Swami is irony, because the roles are reversed. The Lord and the devotees roles are reversed. And similarly, here also, I think the speaker and the listeners roles are reversed, because I'm sure in normal circumstances, I would have been among you and you would have been advising me. Okay, that's irony of a life. Okay, thank you for the wonderful opportunity and participation with you. Okay, if there is anything is there, with the permission of the doctor, we can discuss and then conclude the session. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev.
Thank you very much, sir. The important crust of this is Nischala Bhakti, sir. Nischala Bhakti to the Lord. The Lord himself will come and guide us and give us all the prosperity and tranquility, sir. Thank you very much. Har Har Mahadev.
Thank you.
We'll close down, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Shall I end the meeting?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.